my marijuana intake that day. And I believe I had about a month time in between that day that I had stopped and the day of the test. And at that point, after a month, I still was like 3 times over the limit.
This video should be retitled to How to Fail a Job Interview. So what's up guys, today I wanted to make a video on Dr. Phil for a long time, but I didn't know what to make a video on until I saw this video.
She wanted nothing but wonderful things. She taught him that it had to be Nike shoes. It had to be the name brand clothing. That was taught to Noah. When Noah became of age to start thinking about driving, he had convinced himself that he was going to be driving a Lamborghini. He broke down crying because he couldn't.
So this is Noah. He basically grew up with everything handed to him. The newest shoes, newest clothes, newest technology, stuff like that. And later on in the video, he said he wants to become a rapper.
My nephew is more entitled than just about anybody I've ever seen in my life. Noah has had it in his head. There's other children that are born into rich families and they're given Lamborghinis and he feels he's entitled to receive all these riches. Heidi, because she wanted nothing but wonderful things, she taught him that it had to be Nike shoes. It had to be the name brand clothing. That was taught to Noah. When Noah became of age to start thinking about driving, he had convinced himself that he was going to be driving a Lamborghini. He broke down crying because he could not understand why he wasn't rich and capable of being way up there on that pedestal. When he wants money, now he has a complete freak out and gets mad and starts yelling and kicking and screaming. Then unfortunately, his mom...
So he tends to act like the typical spoiled kid. When he doesn't get something he wants, like money, a car, whatever it could be, he will cry and throw a fit as if he were 3 years old.
Go and, rescue him. There's been occasions where I've made efforts to teach Noah how the real world works. One time, Noah earned an opportunity to have a loan of some money to buy himself a half-decent car. Unfortunately, after I lent him that money, he lost his job and he could no longer pay the loan to me. One day I looked at my bank account and she transferred the money into my account. So mom came in and saved the day. There was another time that I tried to help Noah by putting him in touch with a company. The condition of working was that he had to pass a drug and alcohol test. And of course, he failed the test. I think Noah manipulates people. He's sworn at my sister. He's absolutely told her to F off, all because he doesn't get his own way. Heidi needs to stop enabling Noah. He needs to hit rock bottom, and she needs to stand back and let him hit it.
Well, joining us virtually is John.
So now, they're having this whole conversation of why Noah acts how he acts and why he does what he does. And I'd just like to say, if I was the uncle of Noah, I literally would have taken him to my house, made him get a taste of the real world, like force him to get some sort of job. And if he'd disrespect me, I'd just take something and ground him. Because he shouldn't act like this to his parents. Well, his parent and his uncle, because they're his family. He shouldn't treat them like he owns them. It's just not cool.
According to you, you say that Noah is a compulsive liar, can't be trusted. He only cares about himself, that he's conniving and manipulative. He guilt trips his mother into buying his dope and his booze, that you break down age 18 because he wasn't rich and famous, and he failed this drug test at a job you set up for him that would have been a good opportunity at the financial institution, and the 10 grand you paid him, he never paid back. So he's just not been accountable.
Yeah, exactly. As part of the interview that he, went through, and actually I was told he did very well. It wasn't like...
So Dr. Phil is showing everyone what Noah did in the past that caused him to either get fired or not even get a job in the first place. And the list is pretty extensive. I'm pretty sure I saw marijuana addict and stuff that you shouldn't do when you're on a workplace because it could either affect your work experience or your coworker's work experience. So basically, if he wants to get a job, he's screwed in the future. Like, unless he stops now, there's no chance of him getting an actual, good job.
I got him the job. He sold himself during the interview, did an excellent job. The feedback was extremely positive. And then, at the end of that interview, they, let him know that he would have to pass. The next step was that he would have to pass a drug and alcohol test, upon acceptance of the role. Unfortunately, he spent the next, 4 to 6 weeks continuing to smoke pot and drink, trying to figure out how he was going to beat the test.
Is that true? You had weeks and you still failed?
That was a job that, of course, was a great opportunity and something that I did want to do.
So what just happened was Noah got fired before he got the job. There was a drug test. He failed the drug test, meaning he didn't get the job because for the drug test, he had to be technically clean of like alcohol or drugs. I think it was just a drug test. But in a way, he technically got fired. But that's just extremely dumb. Why would you throw away the opportunity for a job that can help you get your life on track just because you like to smoke weed, act like a spoiled brat, and do whatever you want in order to get your way? That's just dumb right there.
And I did have, as soon as I got that phone call that day saying, hey, we'd like to, arrange an interview, I had stopped my marijuana intake that day. And I believe I had about a month time in between that day that I had stopped and the day of the test. And at that point, after a month, I still was like 3 times over the limit. And that was just because I realized and learned after the fact that marijuana actually stays in your system longer than even hard drugs like meth and crack
Oh,
and
no,
things like that.
No. The half-life on marijuana, did you take blood or urine test?
It was a urine test.
Oh, come on. You didn't stay a month off of smoking weed.
I agree with Dr. Phil. He knows that Noah's bullshitting himself because Noah looked like he had some sort of like nervous look in his eyes when he was saying he went off of weed for a month. Like we know he's all lying. Like everybody who's watching like that episode of Dr. Phil or anybody who's watching this video knows that Noah's a big fat liar. So why would you lie when you could just tell the truth? It'd just make everything better in the end.
And not pass a urine test. This is science. It's just absolutely not true. So
Yeah.
But Noah, you say you're in this for the love of the music, but I'm really interested if you really just want to be somebody that's just a poser, or you want to be for real. I mean, you want to be a contender or a pretender. Well, hey, it's me, and thank you so much for watching. And while I have you, do you have a story or a question for me? If so, trust me, I want to hear from you. Click on the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on. You just might end up right here on the show. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little red button below. You know you want to. What are you waiting for? Do it.
So there is a part 2 to this. Like I think it's a continued conversation. So if it is the continued conversation, I might consider making a part 2 to this. So if this video does get to 15 likes, I might consider making a part 2. But with that, like the video if you liked it and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Dislike the video if you disliked it. And with that, I am out.